Hey, and welcome to I Guess, a show where I hate everything until someone convinces me otherwise. I'm Lex Basile Price, and have we thought about raisins enough? I don't know. With me today is the beautiful and hilarious Alejandro Rosa. Hi, I'm so excited that you're here.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Fantastic. What are we wrong about today?
So I think everyone is wrong about, or at least you specifically with your thoughts about it, on immersive haunted house experiences.
Okay. I am so glad that you brought this topic. I try not to find out what the guest topic is, and I am beyond elated because I was like, okay, there's lots of things Alejandro can bring, right? Haunted houses, Survivor. But the fact that you brought immersive kidnapping houses.
That's one particular one. Not all of them are kidnapping.
Okay.
It just depends
That's
on...
your favorite flavor of them.
They're the most evocative, I will say, of them.
Great. So please try to convince me of something that I am sure that I will never do, but who knows, by the end of this podcast, I might be like, sign me up. Though they're individual mostly, right?
Yeah, there's a few. So
Okay.
we'll to start off with, I want to really talk about exactly the particular event I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because there are delineations between, you have like a typical haunted house, you have extreme haunted houses, and you have what I like to call immersive horror theatrical experiences.
Okay.
And those can sometimes use mechanics that are often used in extreme haunted houses and vice versa. The main thing about these experiences is the plot and it's the story.
Okay.
Because like a normal haunted house, you go through one room, there's like a loose theme or something.
Yeah, it's like serial killer. Oh, there's a chainsaw. Oh, there's a vampire in this room or whatever.
Exactly. It is very piecemeal of like what makes up horror, the genre as a whole, especially with haunted houses. So what I love about immersive horror theatrical experiences are the fact that, especially if you have a mindset like I have, who I'm also a gamer, it feels like living in an RPG, but like the worst kind of role-playing game you can kind of do, but it's also a way to fully immerse yourself in something that you normally don't.
Okay.
So as someone who is a fan of horror movies, to be put in a situation where maybe I'm dealing with like a crazy stalker or I'm dealing with a kidnapping, or I'm dealing honestly with the devil. We'll get into that one in a little bit.
See, I think a lot of is made, and you're in the video game space too, so you understand this, but like a lot of it is made about immersiveness. And I'm sorry, that isn't true. I go to a theater, I know I'm in a theater. I can sit there and go like, yes, I'm watching. I can do that, right? I'm playing a video game. I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
I guess this truly is immersive because you have to sign so many waivers that like, well, if you die.
I mean, there's one, safety is paramount in all of these experiences. There are waivers because of
all sorts of things.
Material.
They don't want,
also, yeah. If anything, like, especially in this day and age where we want something more, or if you're like a thrill seeker, you need that like rush of that adrenaline. And
so are you saying the waiver is actually part of the patch? Like it's a little bit like sign your life away, tee-hee.
Literally, sometimes they'll put things in waivers that aren't in the actual experience to freak you out psychologically. And that's what a lot of these things are about.
This is gay culture.
Oh, yeah.
Straight people are not doing this.
Oh,
if you are doing this, you are somewhat queer. I'm sorry.
A lot of the people I deal with are queer people who have gone to these things, or I know work behind the scenes.
Sure.
There's a mix.
I mean, to be fair, if I was doing this, I would not do it if the person running it was straight. Sorry. I don't trust straight people.
Interesting. Well,
not straight people that are going to like rip my clothes or whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's just, the mentality you go. I don't know the sexuality of the people with who I've went to, but no, like I hear you. It is, for me, it's just, I'm always looking for that next thing. And as someone who loves horror, to have something immersive, to feel like a story is crafted particularly for me, even though it's like, nah.
Yeah.
And like with a lot of these experiences, it is about you, and that's what makes it different than haunted houses. Haunted houses is about the group, it's about the story,
getting people in and out,
doing a jump scare, doing boo. With immersive horror theatrical experiences, it is I have to make sure I remember that order that I'm saying this as well. I'm like, wait, there's a particular way I'm saying this. Anyway, so with immersive horror theatrical experiences,
theatrical horror, I feel like that's like a crazy magician, but horror theatrical now we're in a different arena.
There you go. It's completely, anything can happen, honestly, in that kind of realm. And so these things are about just like you are the character. So there is a plot that happens, and most of the things will determine your reaction to it, but things are actively and physically happening to you into a space, and you don't just stay in one room. Most of these are multi-room. There's a house, you travel from one to another, you go. And the main thing that I like to talk about when I talk about these experiences is that sense of belief in yourself. You came out of the end without ever having to said the safe word. A lot of these have safe words.
Have you ever?
I've never.
Okay.
I have never.
Have you ever been tempted? Has there been a moment where you're like, if I was gonna, this would be it?
I don't think I've been pushed. I know what I would do if I ever did one, and I haven't gone to there's a particular extreme haunt in the West Coast that does a lot of extreme horror elements, and one of their things that they do is they have a room with bugs. I don't do bugs. This one is particularly, I think it's water bugs, but you're supposed to think they're like roaches.
Sure.
And
water bugs are still gross.
Yeah, they're all gross. I don't like, I can do a spider or a tarantula or something like that.
Yeah, well, those are kind of like fuzzy.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're kind of cute.
It's like the Muppets of the bug world.
But with the roaches, I can't.
No.
But that is
not coming from New York City.
Oh my God, no. That's a sign that something is wrong here and we need to leave.
White privilege.
Honestly,
is doing a haunt with bugs,
and people thinking it's scary instead of dirty,
and not thinking like this was my life that was hell for like 3 months or whatever when I was couch surfing and I got bed bugs from the couch that I was. That didn't happen to me. It happened to someone very close to me.
Oh no!
That they were coming here to move and they stayed on a friend's couch and they definitely had bed.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Having had bed bugs before, it is a horrible process to deal with. Luckily, I've never had it in New York. That's must
good.
Be worse.
Yeah, we've never had it. No, we've never had it.
Thank God.
But we did for a long time have the like crinkly covers. We don't do that anymore.
But it's the main thing that like I like to talk about this, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I don't know how we feel about this publication. I'm in an article in the New York Post that is specifically about extreme haunted houses. It came about because I was doing an extreme haunt and I had to change the date, but on the thing, it was very difficult to try and like move it around. So I ended up reaching out to the artistic director of that, like, I guess, haunt company, and was able to get a new date, but then because I'd reached out and I was like, hey, I've done these before. I love these things. I really don't want to miss this. And I know there's like a refund policy. Is there a way to change it? He goes, yes. And then at the end of that whole transaction, he's like, hey, so I got reached out by this reporter to do an article about like extreme haunts because there's a new trend. This is like when they were first happening. Like I think circa 2016, 2017.
Okay. When the world was falling apart.
Yeah. Before the collapse and we were all stuck.
With a crumble.
Yeah. So I like talked to the reporter and then the article came out. My face, I do like the Home Alone shocked face on the cover of it.
Adorable.
I have a physical copy somewhere. But like the main thing that article also talked about is the scientificalities behind fear.
And why you would want to maybe do that.
Yeah. So it's the responses that our bodies go through in these moments and how we process and deal with them afterwards. And that's the thing I love about these experiences because it depends on which one you do. There are various ones that have varying degrees of intensity.
Right.
But the main point of these is they don't want you to say the safe word. They want you to experience the story they have. They're going to push you.
Right. They put in a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. And they have a story they want to tell. They're going to push you to the limit, but because it's only you, they can scale back the show depending on what's happening.
So does the safe word just end it or does it reset?
Depending on the experience. A majority of them are definitely, we're done. Yeah. Hard done. They will double check to be like, are you sure you want to quit right now? And then it's hard done. They're immediately out of character and it's all about aftercare.
Do they give the safe word or do you pick the safe word?
They give the safe word.
Has there been a safe word that you're like a favorite? Because usually a safe word, for those of you who are at this point, I don't know who doesn't know, but for those who don't know, you have to kind of pick a ridiculous safe word because a word that you wouldn't normally say. My favorite is tea cozy.
Ooh,
is great.
I like that.
Is there one that has stuck with you all these years?
I'm trying to remember any of them that I've had.
You don't use them because you're a big brave boy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of the ones, their safe words were safe word. Blackout, which is one of the major ones that really started this trend, and they were initially in New York before they moved to LA. Their safe word was just safe word.
That makes sense.
I've done other ones that are themed. I did one that was trying to recreate like MK Ultra, I think it was like a CIA experiment where they like doused people. So we took a fake drug in that one, and then everything was supposed to be like
LSD, I
hallucinatory.
think.
Yeah. This one was fake. It was like just a sugar pill or whatever, but it's meant to like freak you out.
Yeah, put you in the mood.
Yeah. And so that one, there was a particular like phrase that related to something.
Oh, that makes sense.
Either it's like, I can't make something. I was going to make something. I'd be like, I don't know. It's like, the lizard people are real, or America's, I don't know.
Oh, they were having fun.
So they were literally having fun. It's like, I give up, or it's like, I cannot ascertain, like, because there's always like a militaristic style, at least for this particular brand. So it was always just like, I have to state this. But it mainly seems that it's something innocuous, but also very clear. I'm saying this, it's out of the way, and this is a donezo. Yeah. I've never had to do it. I've been pushed, and there are certain experiences. Oh, and so there are other ones. The one that I mentioned in LA that has bugs, you can opt out of certain experiences, which is basically saying the safe word. And so you can skip that. That one's called, I think, 13th Door or 17th Door. Oh my God. I'm not a true horrorite. Wow.
It does sound like an FMV game.
Yeah.
From the 90s.
Yeah. It might be. No.
Would love just you get a hyper realistic, just like television screen where they're like, rah, 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 rah.
I would buy that day
Myst? A Myst experience? Can you believe that? TM. Real life Myst would slap.
I would die. I mean, like, of overjoyment.
Yeah, and they're like, you can't trap me in this book. Spoilers.
Yeah. Careful. But no, it's very, like, they are wanting to make sure you're okay with it. And then this one is, you can like, I think pretty sure it's called 17th Door. And so either 17 rooms that you go through, something like that, but you can opt out to not do some of them. So if I were to ever go to that one,
you would say no bugs.
I would say no bugs. I'm sorry.
You want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And also there are stories of people who go home and find a bug still in their pocket or something.
No.
Yeah. So like that I get. But like I have done other like random things in these haunted houses before. Like I've had a dead octopus like just like swirled over my head. I've had someone like took my shirt off, had a roller with fake blood, rolled blood on it, put the shirt back on, and then gave me like a bear hug and like squished it up against me. I like had to switch pants with someone else in my group for a haunt I did. What else? I ate fake poop in one.
Oh, baby shower.
I got peed on by one person. It was a fake pee, but
you don't know.
Honestly, I don't know because it was warm and it did smell bad. So,
well,
that's the point. Like they're trying to like gross you out in these things.
I guess this sounds wild. I feel like it smelling bad leans more to the point that it's probably not real. I don't know, like because if you were regularly doing these haunts, unless that's your like thing, why wouldn't you like drink a shit ton of water?
I mean, you have a point. You got to pace yourself.
Like if they're adding a scent experience, a smell-o-rama.
Yeah. I mean, also I think in this particular room it was like a ghost girl, almost like The Ring, and like she then held my head down on the sink while other people were watching and then like crawled on top of me
and did some fetid piss.
Yeah, something. But it's just like weird different things that like mentally you can check out of. Well, not check. I don't think check out of is the right word, but like mentally you're aware, like this isn't real, but I'm going to believe in the fantasy so that I get the full experience of like the story I'm being told.
Right.
So it's very boundary pushing. A lot of the things that started with this genre, especially with Blackout, their main thing is that it was very psychosexual.
Okay.
And with that, I think it actually like ties into the comment you brought up earlier where it's like, oh, it's like, this is gay people shit. It's like, no, for real. Some of the stuff that they're talking about in the first few like blackouts that I've gone to and the reviews and walkthroughs that I've read of some of those, there are some things that are like generally just a part of like kink world and kink community that because America is such a like a puritanical type of like view and the way we think about sexuality and nudity in general is meant to make you uncomfortable, which if you're part of the community, one, nudity doesn't really make you uncomfortable, and other certain things, either like BDSM or blood or like any like water will play and stuff like that, isn't.
And truly, when I say like gay people shit, it's because like the kink community is like kind of in that world too, in a different way, but in that same kind of milieu.
Yeah. And so it is always interesting to experience it from the viewpoint of a queer man, where I'm like, oh, this is fine. Where it's like, I'm not too freaked out. It's a lot of sensory stuff too. One of the ones in Blackout was that they take your sock at one point in the haunt, like early on, and so you're going through
with one sock
on and one sock off, and there's a room that's supposedly filled with like used condoms, and so it's like you have to like walk across it, and it's like that sensory thing as well. It's like, is this real? Is it not? And it's dark, so it's like it's kind of that playing of psychosexual, but then I mean, also cum is cum, so like, I mean, it's not.
Some people have hang-ups about cum.
Lots of aversions I have found out that people have. I'm like, what is the problem? But that's a different episode.
Yeah. I just imagine someone comes in, they're like, what am I wrong about? Cum is it.
It's full of protein, it's nutritious, and if you anyway,
have you found that, and I would hope so, but because like clearly in the kink community, bad actors are ferreted out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like that is like a no-go because it gives everyone a bad reputation. Have you found, or have there been like cases where that's happened? Or
in a way, one of the things that made me choose this, because I was in between immersive haunts or live reality games, and I saw a post about I think it was 17th Door actually, or 13th Door. Wow, I am really doubting myself.
I can't wait for the comments to come.
I know. Either way, the main thing that I also really wanted to talk about, because whenever anyone says extreme haunt, they think of McCamey Manor. One, that is not a haunt. There is no plot. That is paid torture. Basically, there's a lot of like...
You're just doing Hostel.
Yeah, exactly. There's a documentary on Hulu. There's a really good investigative look that this like YouTube investigator did. And then there's a second group of YouTubers who one of them used to work with Russ McCamey and is like just doing a big like whistleblowing. Like, no, he is fucked up, honestly.
Okay.
So that is a lot of like, he was misabusing the trust people were placing in him, especially the female guests that were going through. So that is one of the things that is very people want to be careful of.
Right.
The most recent one that I did, which was last February, there was a scene where there was a devil in it, and like I got stripped down, like got flogged, and like I had to repent to this devil because like the whole idea was that I'm living the nightmare of this like Christian woman, and like her son is trans, her husband's cheating on her with like the next door neighbor, she catches them, I had to give birth to a baby. It was lots of weird things, but the good thing about that, well, the good experience I had about that is, one, they have an aftercare built into the experience. So once the show is over, all the actors come out and talk with you. And the actress who was the devil, she was in a full latex outfit. Like it was her personal outfit because she's a professional
dominatrix.
Yes. So it's like she knew levels. She knew how to understand physical reactions if something was too hard, too soft. We were also kind of told, we were warned that something may happen like that. So if something is too much, say it out loud so at least the person can hear. So we didn't know what that was, or I didn't know what that was in reference to. So in that moment, you're like, oh, okay, if something is too hard or too much, then you're primed to be like, oh, they said this, so let me say, oh, no, that's a little too hard, but keep going. But she's professional dom. Like that is her... I want to say main source of it. I don't really know. I didn't talk to her that much, but like I felt safe talking with her after that. I mean, I had to feel safe and trusting enough to go through the whole process and let them strip me down in that room. But it was all for this narrative that they were telling and the story and what was following through. And like immediately after the moment of nudity, like I want to say it was like maybe 30 seconds to a minute after that, like I was immediately clothed. Not with my clothes, like other clothes, but like, it was all modest. There weren't too many people in that room that didn't need to be in that room, and other things that they would try to like affect you more so than the nudity itself was like sensory overload. So there was one moment I was blindfolded and I felt like 6 or 7 hands, like just everywhere all over my body, but not in a
lascivious way.
Yeah, and no one went near my danger zones. It was all just like people were lightly scratching, applying pressure, just so you don't know where or what is happening.
Right.
So it's all about taking you out of reality, but in the reality that you are in, that is under a fake story that's all completely safe and nothing is actually gonna hurt you. But the idea that something could or something might is that, like, I don't know, it's that fear, but also that safety, knowing I've talked to these people plenty beforehand, especially the one that I did in Michigan. They're called Stag. So I had a lot of contact with them beforehand and afterwards and during as well. Okay. It was very comforting. And again, they really are talking about how safety is paramount to them.
Yeah.
And most of the haunts that do that are all about safety.
Yeah, I can imagine that that's going to like crash a business because they, I'm sure, live and die on reviews.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also the same thing of, like, you don't want any bad actors, and like that's what a waiver is for, but a waiver isn't legally binding.
Right.
Like,
if something does happen, it's not like you can't sue that
exactly.
person.
Yeah. So it's like they're always cautious and aware, and it's just how you enter into that situation if you're willing to let go and be a part of the story.
Yeah. And I'm sure, and you can correct me on this, it probably feels safer the more people that are involved on the production side.
Oh, yes.
Because I know it would freak me out if it was just like some dude in the woods.
Yeah.
Like come into my shack. Then like, oh, we have like 5 actors here. There's checks and balances between them. No. Someone might see anything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense. It's funny because the main one that has people freaked out, which you know this story.
I know this story. This is hold on. Can I guess which one it is?
Yes.
This is the one where you had to like have a video.
Oh, I forgot I did those. No, this was the different one, the one I drove out for.
Oh, okay, it's the other one.
Yeah,
okay, great.
I've done.
Please tell. I know this has been years where we've been friends.
Yeah,
and Alejandro will be like, "Let me tell you," and I'm like, "No fucking way! And how are you alive?"
And I always sharing pictures, and I'm like, "Look at this."
Yeah. Okay, please explain because. This one was wild.
Yeah. So to go off the fact, I've only ever done one where it was run by one person, but I did not know this at the time. So the experience was called Alone, and it was a 3-hour experience. And keep in mind, most of the ones I've done that are by yourself are around like 45 minutes to 2 hours.
That sounds doable.
Yeah.
3 hours seems like a lot.
Yeah, so I was very curious what it would entail. I read a really good review from a website that I actually ended up writing immersive horror reviews for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And so that helped spur. It's like, okay, well, this reviewer really had a good experience with this like show. Let me go partake it. And so what I had to do was it takes place in Philadelphia. We're based out of New York. And so I rented a car. I drove. Also, keep in mind, I drove in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah, I remember this.
That was the bad idea on my part. That had nothing to do with the haunt. That was just, I was like, this is the day I have to do it. But I drove out and I had to meet this guy in a parking lot somewhere, just a random parking lot. I had already paid him via PayPal. And so I met him in a parking lot. We get in his car and then we start driving and he starts giving me like the preamble. Hey, this is everything about the experience. Here's the waiver. Sign this. I need like verbal confirmation as well. And then after like I do that, he's like, okay, we're going to drive somewhere else. We drive.
Never go to a second location.
We drive off road somewhere. Like literally.
Okay. See, listeners, this is why I thought this was not real. It's descriptions like this.
It sounds like I would end the story with me dying.
Yes,
but
someone has died at this before. Someone that didn't get the appointment logged in a book has died.
I hope not, but you never know.
That's what I'm saying.
That is true. Well, with this experience, you could never know, because let me continue then. So we drive off-road, we go somewhere, and then it's like, okay, the experience is about to begin. You're
like, this is the experience.
I was like, okay.
This lonely car ride is part of the experience.
Also, older white man,
of
like
course.
In his 50s as well. So I'm like, no offense if you are in your 50s, but it is just...
But this is a serial killer.
Yeah. It's like, it could be typical, just like, I've been doing this for years, and now I've got you.
He was the person that wrote the review.
He is the person. So he zip ties my hands, puts a bag over my head so I can't see.
This is the details I remember.
Yeah, and then starts playing spooky music. But
hold up, like spooky skeletons?
No, but actually, it's not funny, but it is funny. He started playing music from the soundtrack of Saw. So the Saw theme song, which Saw is one of my favorite films. I love the entire franchise. I almost did, and I had to stop myself from laughing.
Because then he would have killed you.
Yeah, then he would have been like, well, I can't, there's no joy in this. He's not afraid.
That is the test. If you laugh at the Saw soundtrack, you're one of the dead ones.
I could not recognize it, and it took me out of it for a little bit. And I was like, no, I have to believe. I'm being kidnapped right now somewhere. And then we get to the actual warehouse where the event takes place, and I'm like put in a fake coffin. And my first test is he leaves and then has to he has the keys outside, and there's a broom. I
remember this one where he wasn't around for most of it.
Yeah, he was not around.
See,
for a
this
lot
is
of
also
it.
Scammy.
A
little bit
because of the rest of the experience that I had, but it was also a learning experience.
Yeah,
because the rest of the experience is once I got out of the mini coffin, there were 12 keys I think I had to find on 3/4 of this factory, and that was the rest of it. But I was by myself in this dark factory where he had set up lights that go off at certain noise things that scare you.
Well, he's jerking it in some room.
Yeah, I swear to God, I heard him running above me upstairs at one point, and you hear noises. I don't think he was actually ever messing with me. It's your mind that messes with you in these things. And certain floors don't open up until after half hour. So you go around to space and wait, this door wasn't open before, and then you explore more, which was very fun.
Extreme escape room.
Yeah, that's more what that was. There was an extreme element at the end where he made me believe that it was all fake and he was going to
kill you,
harvest my organs. There was a secret room that I didn't get access to that no one does, and then he laid me down on an operating table and then strapped my hands down, cut my shirt open and my pants off, and had tools and had a camera because he was recording all of this. I was like, oh wait.
At no point you're like, maybe safe word.
At this point, I thought the experience was over. So that's how they get you.
Yeah, but you could have just been yelling pineapple, pineapple, pineapple.
I probably wouldn't have. I'd been no, I can do this. You're not going to cut me. I think it was also a test to him. Be are you going to do it? Do it then. I want you to do it. Make me bleed.
And see, maybe if you had said the safe word, that was the killing thing.
Well,
I'm still convinced this person has killed people. Would you do another one-person one? Or was that
No, I will. I mean, that one, I've mainly done one-person ones after this. So the most recent one, Stag,
one...
was,
one
see.
production.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
This was, honestly, for a one-person running everything, it was really well done and crafted. A little bit longer than it should have been. Because the last, honestly, I think the last 45 minutes, maybe hour.
You were bored.
No, I gave up. I was I can't do this. I'm getting a little bit too scared. I don't know where these fucking keys are. Right. I literally sat in a closet that I found for 30 minutes because I was just I don't want to try to get scared and deal with all of this anymore.
Theatrical experience now.
I'm straight now.
Yeah.
No, I just felt that after a certain point, I'm I can't do this. This isn't fun. I am scared, but I feel I've scoured everything. I'm not trying to find anything anymore. And the only reason I really wasn't scared with this, I'm going to harvest your organs, was because that was a part or semi-part of the review. In the review, it's I'm not going to ruin this, but the ending is what scared me the most.
Got it.
So I was primed to expect something. So when it was ending, I was oh.
Nothing happened. It was so scary.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we got trapped in this room, and I was oh, this is the ending. I kind of know it's fake, but I'll believe into it and be oh, no. I think he really wanted me to act up more that I was afraid. So I was just oh, wait, what? And he was yeah, you didn't catch my name. You didn't ask my name when you got in the car. For all intents and purposes, I could have been a killer. I could have taken. He literally said everything you said. And I was oh my God, you're right. But in the back of my head, I was just I don't know. But I don't know. It was fun, that one. But as I said, the way he set up this space, because he runs his own terror company, haunted house. It's not a haunted house per se, but he does horror events. So he had stuff prepped, and it really made it a really nice, interesting performance rather than something low budget.
Sure.
Low budget even though this
he worked steal a lot of money from people that you kill.
Yeah, that's true. I think that one was $400, maybe $500 I paid for that.
You're trying to convince me to love this.
Well, yeah, okay. Aside from the money fact, I will say the money is a big deterrent.
I get why it's expensive.
Yeah.
It makes more sense when there's more people.
Yes. Well, that's what Blackout, the only times I've ever, not only times. So Blackout, and then the ones I used to do a lot in Long Island City, the first time, what I would consider my like real immersive horror experience, you do it in groups of 4. And that one, they also kind of like mess with you. That was one where it's like, okay, you two are going to switch pants right now. And like, you're going to wear that person's clothes for the rest of and then like different other things are interactive, and like decision based. So it's going to be like, you're going to get this punishment, and you have to choose who gets shocked in this room, or like you're pushing down this person's head in a bathtub full of water.
So Dragula exterminations.
Oh my god, yes, 100%. It's 100. Oh my god, yes. So the last season of Dragula, all of those exterminations were at that haunt that I was telling you about. So the one where the truck comes to you, where the latex up against the wall, that's 13th door or 17th door, whichever one. Let me know in the comments.
Did they go in the bug room?
I think so. Yes, because they dropped.
Oh, they dropped bugs.
Yeah. So they've rented them now for the past 2 years. I haven't finished the most recent one. I know who won of Dragula, but they've been there for the.
Makes sense.
Sometimes they do it. Yeah, they're like they have that space.
So what's been your favorite one? What would be the one? Okay, so I'll say for myself.
Yeah,
I grew up in Southern California, so I went to Not Scary Farm, all that stuff.
Yeah.
As a child, wow, I am a little bit of a pussy. But I don't like to let people know that I'm scared. So even as an adult, I would walk through mazes gripping because I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
I have my keys on a carabiner.
Yes.
So I would just stand there and grip my keys and blank face stare at the people trying to scare me. Because my thing was like, I wanted to be there with my friends.
Yeah.
I'm not getting like thrilled by the like, I guess there's probably a little bit part of like,
yeah.
But I'm trying to like, my goal is to press it down, not
that
to like
sense.
Scream.
Yeah.
If there was one that you're like, actually, this is like, if you did it, this one's for you. Can you think?
I definitely can. They're not in business anymore.
That's
which
fine.
Is a shame.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, they're a really good one. They I don't remember the name of the company. They went through like a few different names, but it was the company that did the MK Ultra one. So it was the first one I ever left New York City to go do. So I took a train to Long Island, or I took the Long Island Transit out there. And they had one called Initiation. And it was the first one I ever went and did. And it was, you were being initiated into a satanic cult. And I wish I still had the notes on my phone. I literally afterwards have a whole like breakthrough of each of the rooms. But for a first experience, what stuck out to me was this one implemented a lot of humor in it as well. So it made it lighthearted and just the ingenuity of some of the things. So you first start out, everyone is going in like your time slot, which is an hour, is all in a big room. So you have 4 different groups of 4 people in these rooms. 4 groups of 4 people. So you have like 16 people in these rooms. And first, like, it's all about breaking you down with the words. So they're just like demeaning you. And like, I think at one point in that room, I was like told to yap and act like a dog. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. This is funny. This is hilarious. And then we move into the next room where each of the groups are in one corner of this like big auditorium, and the lights go on and off, but we're told to keep dancing. And there's like a DJ booth in the middle. So what they're doing there is physically exerting you. So you're tired. And when you're more tired, you're more susceptible to fears and jump scares and like just other random stuff.
Really
like your
breaking
mind
you down.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is my group was the last one to get left to actually start the haunt. And what happens is you hear the music, everyone's told to dance, all of a sudden blackout. Nothing. You hear screaming, lights come up, one of the groups is missing. So then each time the lights go out, a group is missing. And so we know we're the last group, we're waiting.
That's okay.
Lights go out. And then I don't know who, but some strong man threw me over his shoulder and just carried me into the next room. And I was like, oh, hello.
I'd like to see them try. They'd be like, sir, can you lift me?
Yeah, like,
I will give you directions.
But it's just I've never had that happen before in a haunt that like I didn't know this in the time while I was going through, but afterwards I'm like, oh, they were doing this so we can break down. And then the physical reaction of someone grabbing you and moving you somewhere. And then so many different things happened to that haunt. Most of it, I was literally just in my underwear walking through it because I was either drenched in fake blood or water or like grime and dirt and random stuff. But the thing that always sticks out to me about that one and why I loved it so much is how they stuck the landing, especially I think to me personally, because they could tell like I was getting super into it. And the last room is you're in a room with like Secret Service agents or something, and the whole idea is like they want information on what happened. So we're all wet,
right?
Like just with a myriad of substance, every fluid. And so we walk into this room, we're sitting in chairs, the one guy has his hand behind his back, and I'm like, okay, I wonder what's happening. I'm asked first. He goes, what did you see tonight? And so I start like listing off, oh well, in this room this room this. All of a sudden he just cuts me off and goes, wrong. Throws what was a handful of flour in his hand on me. And I go, oh. And then he goes to the next person and asks them, who did you talk to tonight? And then they're not sure what to do yet.
They don't want that flour in the face.
Yeah.
I'm gluten-free.
And so they start talking and saying, I think I talked to this person. And then they go, no, wrong again. They pretend as if they're going to throw it on him and last second throw more flour on me. And then by the time the third person goes through, they get it. And they goes, no one.
Yeah.
And the person goes, correct, throws flour on me. And then at the end, the fourth person asks them, they go, what did you see?
They knew as soon as that brawny man threw you over their shoulder, they're like, we're getting this twink.
It's like, I was already wet in more ways than one at that point. So I was just like,
I get, you know what? If there was this like theatricality and kind of there's a little bit of camp.
Yes, this one definitely had camp.
I could see a world where I did something like that. Especially it's in a group.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like, I don't know, there's something funny about like it's a cult.
Yeah.
that I can get behind.
I don't know, it was just something fun and silly about it where you're like, oh yeah, I'm now part of a satanic cult, but also they didn't take themselves seriously.
Right.
The one that I did in Michigan, they took themselves very seriously, and it was still good.
Sure.
I didn't love it as much as I loved my first one ever. Also, you'll never love it your first, anything like your first time. So
you're just chasing that dragon.
Honestly. But I don't know, it was also an hour and a half long, and I think that like that drain gets on you. In each room there was an activity or there was something to really play with you there, and they would split your group up sometimes, so then you would have like 2-and-2 moments or like one-on-ones with like the actors and the haunt. So
real Sleep No More.
Yeah. So I really love the ingenuity of that one and the sense of camp. They didn't take it too seriously, and they knew we were here to have fun. There's one other show that is still around. They change it every year, so I don't know if they will do the same thing.
Right.
So if you go see this show, spoiler alerts, but this is for Delusion in Los Angeles, and they are more. I think they're how I would like. I think I've
heard of this company. Yeah, from not just you, from other people in LA.
Yeah. So it's like immersive theater, but it's immersive horror theater.
Yeah.
While I do it in a house. Immersive haunts. Yeah, this isn't a house. They rent out a house, and there's a story. Matt and I, Matt's my husband, we went to it when we were most recently in LA last time we were there. And this show apparently was like a best of their like previous shows. They normally do have a plot.
Was it a clip show?
It was a clip show.
Wow.
But we didn't know the story, so I was like, I'm here for the bits then.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things that has only ever happened to me in one other like immersive show, not like horror or anything, an actual immersive show that I haven't seen since, and it blows my mind. There was a plant in the audience. Matt, because they make you wait in this one room before you're in a group with strangers, because it's like a regular haunted house kind of experience. You're in a big like group of 8, 10, 12, and you all go through it. And so you wait in a room before they all go, because they called like 7:45 time slot, come in. And this one girl comes in, and we should have known because she dressed like, I want to say very what's the word? Stereotypically goth punk. And we were like, we shook it off because we were there for like an emo pop punk thing. So like maybe she's part of the group or whatever. And we start talking with her and we love her.
Your new friend.
Yeah, our new friend. She's super talkative and she doesn't talk with anyone else. It is literally just for my husband and I. So we're all just like chatting.
We saw you across the bar.
Yeah.
We like your vibe.
So we're all talking and then the haunt starts and we're like with her for one part. And then at one point, she's chosen to go be the first person to do like a solo thing in this because each person you can choose to do an activity in each of the scenes. She's chosen. She doesn't come back for a while. And then we see her coming back. And then while she's like walking towards us, something pops up from behind us and we're all told to run past her. So we run past her. So we're going to run with her. And then she's running beside us like she's running away. All of a sudden, I kid you not, she is flying 15 feet in the air. She had like that pulley system on her back. I wish. Could you
Wicked
imagine? Wasn't out then. I wish.
Wicked was out. Excuse you.
Oh, well, the musical, yes, not the movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's true. Well, we grew up with Wicked, so it's always in us.
Well, I'm very glad you're not dead.
Yes.
It's been lovely having you.
It's been a joy.
I am, you brought me very close. I got to a point where I thought this was a never, ever, forever no-go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of, if it's elements of camp, I could see.
Mm-hmm.
I could see. So, where can our listeners find more of your lovely self?
Wonderful. You can find me on most social media at alltimejandro. That is Instagram, if people are still on Twitter, I guess, or X or whatever the fuck is going on with it. And then YouTube is, well, it's all connected to the same name. Makes it easy for everyone.
And they can come hear you sing.
Oh my God. Wait, no? What? Yes?
No? You sing all the time.
Oh, I do sing all the time. Sorry, I was like, wait, do I have a show coming up where I
don't
sing?
Know. Maybe you do.
I do not, sadly.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, follow me on there. I'm actually starting to do some content creation as well, and I will be posting videos very soon.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Alejandro.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Join us next time as we once again prove that my opinion is always correct about everything all the time.